Welcome to the Breakthrough and Bloom podcast. My name is Kelsey, and I am so excited that you are here. This podcast is your welcome into the world of woo, spirituality met with mental health, met with emotional balance, all while keeping it casual. My intention for this podcast is to help shift perspectives, to provide an opportunity for you to change the way in which you view, live, and experience your life. Over the past couple years, I've immersed myself in the profound realm of healing work. My journey has been a quest for real, tangible tools that actually work, leading to transformative breakthroughs and a profound sense of freedom. Now, I'm beyond excited to share the wealth of knowledge and practical wisdom that I've gathered with you. This podcast is real, it's raw, it's authentic. I'm sharing my truths, my experiences, my perspectives, and by being open and honest, I intend to create a space where you no longer feel alone because you are so loved, you are so connected, and so worthy of living the life of your dreams. Your healing journey is as unique as you are, and I'm honored to be included in it in whatever capacity you'll have me. Thank you for joining. I'm so excited for this episode, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello. Welcome to the Breakthrough and Bloom podcast. As you can see today, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a guest with me,
Hello.
The one and only Kristin, the one who I have mentioned, I think, the most on this podcast in general, who always has really in-depth, deep conversations with me, helps me break through some big moments in my life. And as I said last episode, we're down, Jordan and I, here visiting in North Carolina, and that's where Kristin lives. So I was like, sorry, you were just shaking the camera, so we are looking like an earthquake, but it's cool. So we're down in North Carolina and visiting, and I thought, what better than to have my first guest be the one person I talk about most on here, but also just a good guest to have. So today we're doing things a little bit differently. We don't really have a topic per se to talk about, even though we did just think of one that we could talk about that would probably blow a lot of people's minds because it blew our own minds while we were talking about it. Mm-hmm. But today's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of more of a get to know me type situation podcast. So I haven't really done one of these except for the first episode where I kind of talked about myself a little bit, but more so what I wanted to do with this podcast. So now I guess it's more about me. So we're more like friends hanging out, I guess. And who better to do it than my best friend? So.
All right. Let's see. So normally you would be interviewing me, but we're doing this backwards.
We are doing it backwards.
And in the theme of February, I'm using these like dating cards. I don't know. Love's in the air. But it's all about self-love right now. Self-love. All right. So I'm going to pick a question and you're going to answer it. I think we should start off with an easy one. Describe your perfect Sunday. And that's very specific because it's a Sunday.
Yes. Okay. So perfect Sunday. I would say a perfect Sunday is not leaving the house.
Okay.
Just like, because you do everything on Saturday and then Sunday you just come home, right? You just spend the day at home, like in your sweats, comfy, cozy type day. You get what you need to get done around the house. You just kind of chill, watch TV, play games, do whatever. Just not like rush, try to get a lot of things done. Because then on Monday, you just start the work week again. And then so you never actually got to relax. So like a perfect Sunday would be like nothing to do. Maybe even raining. So then I feel less guilty about it. And I'm like, oh, it's shitty outside anyways. So let me just sit inside and be lazy. That would be a perfect Sunday. So probably a Sunday in April.
In the Northeast?
Yeah.
Rain every day up there. All right. I'll do more of a harder one. What is influencing you right now? Currently. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, so I would say what's influencing me the most right now is probably all of the things going on astrologically. So, solar flares and the stars alignments and planet alignments and just like everything going on. I think collectively, all of us are kind of feeling it and being pushed to release things, to work through things, getting very uncomfortable right now with either ourselves or situations or work, relationships, whatever, all of it maybe. So what's influencing me most right now, I would say obviously this trip that we're doing has brought up a lot, but I don't think it helps that, astrologically there's a lot of shit going on as well. So that is what's influencing me most, and it's okay. I'm accepting it. I didn't at first. It was a little rough, but I would say that's what's influencing me most is that, and then just trying to find balance within all of it, because I knew that 2024 was going to be rough.
For everybody?
Rough for everyone, yeah. So, like, Cameron, my brother, the astrologer, had told me multiple times that 2024 is going to be like fucking wild. And I saw it like all over Instagram with other people that do astrology too, of like 2024 is going to be wild and things are going to get shaken up and like get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm literally living it. And I think all of us are, and maybe being aware that it's happening. So you're not like, am I fucking crazy? Like, what is going on right now? Why do I feel either like polar opposite of how I usually am? So like if you're outgoing and now you're like a hermit, because that I'm seeing happen too with some of my friends, that they're like, I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. It's like I hate people all of a sudden. It's like opposite of how they are. I think a lot of things are coming up from the subconscious for all of us, which is forcing us to feel it. Like we can't really ignore it anymore, and that makes us feel totally out of whack. Yeah, so if you're also feeling like what the fuck is going on, welcome to the club. That has been like the past like 2 weeks, is just literally every day being like, it's gonna get crazier. There's a lot of shit going on. So yeah, that's what's influencing me most right now, is literally just the planets and the energies and everything that's going on. So not so much what's even going on Earth. Like, yes, it's going on Earth, but what's going on cosmically is just fucking me up.
Yeah. That 222 portal, we all cried. Yeah. Separately. Came together, we're like, wait, you're crying too?
Yeah.
We're like, shit, what day is it?
Yep, and then we looked and we were like, oh, okay. That makes sense, yeah.
Checks out.
Yep, February 22nd kicked our ass, yep.
All right, let's see. We'll do an easier one. And I don't know this. I feel like I should. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Why don't I know that?
I wanted to be a soccer player. Yeah, I wanted to be a soccer player when I grew up, and that started fading a little bit when I got older, but then like the door slammed shut. The door got slammed shut when I tore my ACL, and I was like, well, that's never happening now. And then I think ever since then I've been kind of a little lost. That was something I had actually that came up in a session I was doing like last year, about how I never like really mourned the loss of that. Like that was a whole life that I had planned for myself that was literally ripped away from me in a matter of moments, and I never like dealt with it. And then I had also like closed my heart then too. And then I never like reopened it afterwards until like almost, I don't even know how long it's been, definitely over 10 years, almost 15 maybe. So like 15 years of my heart being like shut. I was like, damn, okay, so yeah, I wanted to be a soccer player growing up, and then I had trauma around it, and then it didn't happen, and yeah, I don't think there was anything else I really wanted to do.
Wow.
I wasn't good enough. I don't think anyways, prior to my ACL. Like, I probably could have gone like D1 or something, but like to actually get paid, I don't think it would have happened, but it would have been nice to have been able to try and not have it just like yanked. Like, nope.
So if you could like peek into that timeline of you where you didn't tear your ACL, would you look?
I would look. I wouldn't go to it, but like if there was a window,
you'd peek.
Yeah, why not?
That's cool.
Why not? Just be curious. Like a book. And then I'll shut it.
Mhm.
I'll put it away.
Cry a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess in the theme of kind of being upset, how do you act when you're angry? I've never even really. I mean, in high school, yes. Soccer, saw you angry plenty. But like modern day?
Yeah, so high school was definitely different anger and a lot of anger. Like the fight anyone and everyone and yelling and like throwing fits.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I'm angry, it's literally the polar opposite. I get quiet. I like shut down. Um, yeah, it's complete not healthy that way either. I'm on the other end of the spectrum now of like before it would like blow up and now it's the opposite. I also heard this thing that like when you shout when you're angry or like throw a fit or whatever, like you freak out, that your body is dysregulated for 7 hours. So now every time like I see someone freak out or like, because you know I love watching my drama TV shows, and I literally think to myself, you're dysregulated for 7 hours for that outburst. Like, is it worth it? So like I don't do it now because I'm like, it's not worth being dysregulated for, but I do go too far the other way where I just go like completely silent because I'm like, nothing nice is gonna come out of my fucking mouth right now, so I'm just gonna not say anything. Um, but also I feel like I'm getting more, instead of like a fight mode, it's definitely more of a freeze mode that's happening now at this age, where sometimes like there are no thoughts that are even happening. Like instead of like going blind with rage and like freaking out, it's more like just wind is blowing through there and it's like silence, you know what I mean? So instead of like blind with rage, it's just like silent with rage instead. So it's interesting how it's changed.
What do you think healthy anger would look like? Comes to the top of your head.
Healthy anger, I think it's one of the harder ones to do because expressing it too much is not good for your nervous system, but like not expressing it either is also not good for your nervous system. So it's like, where do you find the balance? And I think it's first like accepting and acknowledging the fact you are angry, like right, like there's a lot of people out there who are like, I can't be angry because I have like kids, or like everyone else around me is always angry, so I have to be the anchor who's like not angry. Obviously you don't want to like destroy things or like wreck things, like punch holes in walls or literally destroy relationships by saying things you don't really mean because you're like upset. So it's like, where do you find that balance of like not overdoing it but like still expressing it? I think that's a fair question. I think it's kind of hard too. I was actually talking to Cameron about this too, of like, what is a healthy way of expressing the anger. I think journaling, like more verbally expressing it, like getting it out of your system that way, you know what I mean? And not in a way of like shouting it out, but being like honest, like I'm upset about this because I'm feeling this. Because anger really is like an iceberg emotion. It's that top one that's really masking over like either fear, shame, guilt, some sort of insecurity. So it's really a mask. So if you want to use anger to the benefit, you really take the time to ask yourself, talk to yourself, talk it out in general of like, what am I actually angry about? What is it about this situation that's triggering me? Like, what am I afraid of? Because ultimately you're afraid of something if you're getting angry, because you're trying to protect yourself. That's all that anger really is. So healthy anger would be using it as just like a fucking sign, you know, of like, there's something here that's needs to be healed. So like taking the time to ask yourself the questions, or even just talking it out with someone too. And you'll realize that maybe you're getting angry over something that doesn't exist. Like you created a story in your mind about a situation or a person or whatever, and it's not even the truth, which I fucking do a lot.
I'm like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say talking either to yourself or to others, and not in a way of like venting more so, but more of just being like curious. So talking but questions.
In the moment?
In the moment, in the moment, I think the best is like breathing through it. So not like stifling it down, like I can't feel this, but like just breathing through it, like, okay, I'm really feeling this, but like each breath is I'm releasing it. Because you don't want to stifle it, but like you also don't want to just let it like run rampant and then you fucking like wake up later and you're like, whoa, what happened? Like, why is there a hole in my wall? It's like, you did that, bro. Yeah. So in the moment, it's hard for sure, but like the breath, just going back to the breath is
a good one.
Probably the best way to handle it.
I know I've also danced through anger or punched the air safely through anger. Yeah. That was a good release.
I've done rage dancing.
Yes. Yeah. Sacred rage. There is a good time to channel that and use it.
Yeah. When it's like not so much like something happened and you got triggered, but like, when anger just starts coming up slowly and it's like for 2-3 days, you're like, why am I just so irritable? Like, I just want to like snap at everyone who talks to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like that I think is a good anger to do for like the rage dancing type things, because that's more of like something's coming up and out and you can like kind of control that more. But like if you're out in public and someone pisses you off, if you just started dancing, I would fucking laugh so hard. You're like, I'm just pissed.
Someone cuts you off.
Yeah. So I think different time and place for it, but yeah, definitely.
All right, more of a lighter one. What's your favorite movie? I also... Don't say Bob's Burgers movie.
No, I don't like that movie at all. I don't like how they animated it.
It was a little creepy.
It's different than the series, and when I saw the animation, I was like, because I hate when they do that. Like when they spend more money on the movie than they do on the show. Like, keep it the same. I want the same level of production.
And
so
the plot was a little like eerie.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
No, I wasn't a huge fan of it either. No, my favorite movie, it's tied between 3. I know. Because I can't really pick one. But the one that probably would be in the front is actually the Aristocats.
Really?
Yeah.
Favorite character?
Do
you remember their names? Duchess.
No, it's definitely not Duchess.
I named one of my cats after that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
No, it'd probably... Maybe Toulouse, because he's just like...
That's a black one?
No, it's the orange one.
Oh, okay. I don't remember all their names.
He's just a chonky one, and he hops out of the little basket, and he's like, for you. Yeah. Okay. The other one is Despicable Me. It's just a classic. That movie, when we lived in California, the second apartment we went to, it took like 2 weeks for the cable to come out and give us like internet and stuff. So we had our Xbox, and I had like a small handful of movies, and I literally watched Despicable Me like every day.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's just, yeah, it was all I had, but also it was a goodie. Rangy was drinking water.
Oh, I'm scared of that.
And then the third one is Emperor's New Groove, because it's a classic.
I was watching that the other day too, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
I know.
Let's watch that again.
I know. I was about to stop, but you were already pretty deep into it, and I was like, "No, I want to watch it from the beginning."
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so it's a tie for 3. 2 are recent, and then 1's an oldie. Interesting mix. All right. All right, I guess we'll do a deep one.
Okay.
Are you ready? What do you want to make sure you do before you die?
I definitely want to travel the world a lot more, like out of the United States. Going to European countries. I'd love to go to Asian countries too. I know Japan is on our list. I really want to go to like Spain and Italy and Portugal, because I want to like eat my way through. I really want to try the cuisines of different places. Like Jordan and I, we watch a lot of different YouTube videos, but also shows in general of people who travel the world and eat at different places, and they're like, oh, so Action Bronson has a show where he does this a lot, and he goes to different places and he's like, this is the best for this and this, and I'm always like, oh, let me like save this so if I'm ever traveling there, I don't have to be like, where should I go? But we watch a lot of traveling cooks and just people who like to eat, and that's something I definitely want to do before I leave this earth, because where else am I going to eat it? I gotta do it on this planet, you know?
Yeah. Go to South America, too.
Yeah.
The Latin food. Whew. So good. Alright. And I guess flowing in with that, what's the most beautiful place you've ever seen so far?
Hands down, Hawaii. Hawaii was the most beautiful place. Something about Maui, just it's like the heart of the world. That's what people call it as well, like the heart chakra of the world. And it definitely feels like that when you go there. Like when we landed and I got out, I was like, wow, this place like just feels like home, even though I've never fucking been here before. Like it was just, it's beautiful because it's Hawaii and it is beautiful, but also like energetically it's a very beautiful and like sacred place. I had wonderful experiences there. I had a lot of leveling up there. It was just a great trip. Yeah, most beautiful place I've ever been. But I also love like tropicals and islands, so who knows, maybe I'll go to another island and I'll be like, Hawaii sucks, but no, probably not. That's funny.
Yeah, I doubt it. All right. What do you do when you need to blow off stress? Although I can kind of guess now, right? Well, stress and anger.
Stress and anger. When I'm stressed, what do I do when I'm stressed? That's a good question.
When are you stressed? Because normally you're as cool as a cucumber.
I don't think I get like terribly stressed. I get like annoyed more than I get stressed. I would say annoyance is like the baby of stress. Like once you start getting too annoyed, then you start getting stressed out. But when I'm stressed, honestly, when I start feeling really uncomfortable, I always book a Reiki session or some sort of healing session with someone, like, because if I get to that point where like I'm so uncomfortable, it means that like I'm already too far that I need help. You know what I mean? Like I can try to do something, but I'm not going to get out of my own way at that point. And I know that about myself. It could be different for a lot of people, but for me, when I get to a certain point where I'm like too uncomfortable, like I have to ask for help, whether it's like talking to someone and having them be my mirror so I can like break through what's blocking me, or literally like having an energetic session and being like, I'm genuinely uncomfortable, please help me. So I guess I ask for help. When I'm really stressed, I actually ask for help, which was not something that I used to do. That is very recent. I would say past like 3 to 5 years. But that has been a big game changer. Because I really don't get stressed that much.
Yeah, you don't.
And
not that I've seen.
It's probably because I just ask for help. Like, for example, like when I was actually stressed 2 years ago when I was worrying about getting taxes done. Because I was like, how do you like file taxes as a business? And I was like, and I had just gotten married and I was like, how do you do it as a business and a spouse? Like, I was just like, I can't. I was stressing out because I had always done our taxes and I was like, this is going to be so different and I don't know. And then I went and I called and got help for my taxes and it was the easiest thing of my fucking life. And I was like, I think that's what had really like clicked for me. Like, just ask for help when you're like there's someone out there who enjoys what you hate. So let them enjoy what you hate doing and just like focus on the things that you enjoy instead. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be good at everything type of deal.
No.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to be. That sounds like a lot to maintain, you know? Like having too many friends sounds like a lot to maintain too.
Yeah, unless you're good at it and you like it.
Yeah. Unless you're a Leo, then it's fine. Or a Gemini.
Oh, well, your rising sign's a Gemini,
so everyone just thinks I'm good at it. That's all.
And they get to know you and they're like, oh, that's Scorpio. All right. Well, that's a good answer, though. Ask for help. I don't think many people would say that. Because I feel like I'd be like, oh, go for a run. You know?
Yeah.
Make a list of things. Take a bath. But you're like,
ask for help.
Ask for help.
Like, I don't want to deal with this. Someone help me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. People could learn from that. That's a really good answer. All right. I guess we're not going to end with this one, so we'll do this one next. How do you measure success? Another deep-ish one.
Yeah,
maybe?
this is definitely something that has changed for me over the last like couple years. But I would measure success based on the amount of risks you take.
Okay. There's gonna be a little nugget from this I'm gonna take. I can already see it. Okay.
Yeah, because there's no growth without trying new things, right? Like you have to try new things to learn new things in general too. Like if you never step out of your comfort zone, how are you going to learn something new? If you never open a new book, how are you ever going to learn something new in that book? So I don't think success is like whether or not you passed or failed. Like I've talked about this before. Like success isn't about that at all, but I think it's more about how much have you gained from it, how
Mhm.
much have you learned from it. But in order to gain and learn things, you have to actually take the step and take the actions to do things that are going to teach you, whether it is being successful or failing, like flying or falling. Like either
Mhm.
way, you're going to learn something, and you have to kind of take the risk of not knowing, are you going to fly or are you going to fall?
Mhm.
To be like, at the end of this, I'm going to learn something, and that's ultimately success, right? Like
Mhm.
bettering yourself, knowing what you do want, what you don't want, getting clarity on the things that fulfill you versus don't fulfill you, getting clarity on the things that you accept versus don't accept. Like, I think that's all winning in my book, because you're just understanding yourself better. And when you understand yourself better, you can manifest the life you want better, because
Mhm.
there's no more like questions of like, oh, would I like this though? Or would I like this? And then
Mhm.
you kind of get stuck in like analysis paralysis, where it's like, I can't
Mhm.
make a decision because I don't know which one I would like better, as opposed to like, I tried that, I don't like that, I'm
Mhm.
never doing that again. And then it's like clear, right? Like you're not sitting like hemming and hawing like, oh, where
Mhm.
do I want to go for vacation, when it's like you've never traveled anywhere. So it's like, do I want to go to the beach, do I want to go to the desert, do I want to go to the tundra? It's like you don't even know, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to being like, I went to the beach and I hated it, or I went to the snow and I fucking loved it. Like, no,
Ooh.
I know, I we don't.
Nope.
But yeah, so I would say measuring success, not even on like how much you learned, yes, but more so how many risks have you taken? How many times
Mm.
have you bet on yourself? How many times have you invested in yourself?
Mhm.
Like that's success to me, is the continuous improvement of yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Snaps to that. All right. Well, we're getting short here on time because I have Dungeons and Dragons.
Love
So,
that. Well,
the
thank
last
you.
question of the night.
Oh, one more.
One
Got
more.
it.
Yeah, you gotta show everybody.
Oh no.
It's a good one. What's the most unusual thing you know how to do?
So she did ask me this before to make sure that there was something. And it's
Mhm.
that I can lick my nose. Not like nasty like a dog, but like the tongue touches. And if you're listening on Spotify, take a moment to hop over to YouTube later to see this.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
I think you gotta go in for the camera. Show 'em all.
yeah.
Show 'em all. Is it touch? Yeah. There's no debate. That touched. Like without a doubt. Oh my god. For comparison.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary skill that I possess.
Interesting. And when did you figure that out? At what age?
I was pretty old, I'm not gonna lie.
Old. Interesting. Okay.
I think I was in my 20s when I figured it out, so
That's funny.
yeah.
Oh, too bad you didn't know it as a
I
kid.
think actually maybe I wasn't that old. I think maybe at some point, like, you know, when everyone's like, oh, you can like lick your elbow, like you can't do it type thing. And then
Mhm.
like, you know, I think maybe I wasn't that old. Maybe it was like middle school or something.
They're like, lick your elbow, and you're like, well, what else can I lick?
Yeah.
Nose. Got it. No one else has got this one.
I mean, the Guinness World Records. Too funny. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep. Useless skill that I have. Maybe in a bar one day,
Yeah.
like make a bet and be like, I bet I can and you can. Make like $20 real quick.
Mhm.
Good bar tricks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for
Yeah, this was
asking
fun.
these questions. It was. This was a nice change
Yes.
to all the other types.
Think-
I'll have to have you back to have some mind-bending conversations
Mm-hmm.
to bend not only our minds but those listening,
Mhm.
because that happens a lot for us. Yeah, so that concludes the episode this week. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked this one. If you did, let me know and I could do more like this. But it was definitely fun to change it up.
Mm-hmm.
Do it a little bit differently
Yeah.
this
Maybe
week.
submit some questions and I'll grill her.
Yeah. Love it. All right, and in case no one has told you this today, I am proud of you. You're doing amazing, sweetie, and I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'll catch you in the next one.